So AEW Blood and Guts, Trevor, is set to happen on May 5th. On May 5th, AEW Blood and Guts will pit the Inner Circle versus the members of the Pinnacle. Chris Jericho will lead his team against MJF. And there's going to be a parlay. We know that's going to happen. They're going to discuss the rules. That's basically for us to find out the rules, a lot of which we already know. We kind of know what it's going to be. This is going to be a real War Games type match because, unfortunately, even though Cody Rhodes' father founded the War Games gimmick, founded the War Games match, they are not allowed to use the name. So they're calling it Blood and Guts, but it's a real War Games. And by real, I mean it's not the War Games that WWE does, because WWE does they do kind of like a hybrid version of War Games and a steel cage kind of match. Because in the real War Games, there's a roof, so it's a completely closed cage. There's also a rule in the War Games where there's no pinfalls, it's submission only. So that makes, the win mean even more for the team. So I like that, and that's the route that AEW is going. They're going to have the roof on the cage, so there's no escaping and none of that stuff. There's going to be the rule where it has to be submission only. So it's going to be War Games, and it's going to be, except it's going to be called Blood and Guts. But it's also going to be a one-match card that whole night, so that's going to be interesting. We haven't seen one of those in a while. But, Trevor, what are you looking forward to? Like, what do you think about this Blood and Guts? We were supposed to have it last year. We obviously couldn't because of the pandemic. But fortunately, we got the Stadium Stampede, which I thought was amazing. But Blood and Guts, Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle. What are your thoughts?
Remember we talked about maybe a couple weeks ago, and actually last week, we talked about factions and how I miss the old school faction wars. God bless Tony Khan. He always listens to us. I swear he does. This is what I've been looking for. I can't wait. I think it's gonna be great. To see the old school War Games, because I remember as a kid, like my brother was huge in WCW. Like that was his favorite promotion. We used to get Smoky Mountain on certain channels and other stuff on certain channels back in the day. But WCW was his favorite promotion, and we would watch his favorite faction, the favorite tag team, LOD, go to war on scaffolding matches and go to war in War Game matches with the likes of Midnight Express, Four Horsemen, guys like that. And matches like this is what it reminds me of, that old school, just fight, fight type feel. And to truly be honest and not going too far back, I remember seeing the Fabulous Freebirds do stuff like this, and that's one of my favorite tag teams back in all time. It's just nostalgic to me, It's very nostalgic, and I think this type of match also fits MJF and Chris Jericho because, well, one, they both have submissions. They're both submission specialists.
Yeah.
Not to mention Sean Spears can pull out a couple when he wants to as well.
Jake Hager. You got him in the mix as well.
Copyright, goddammit. Copyright.
Goddamn pal. Lawsuit.
I am super excited for this. Super excited. Don't get me wrong. I like NXT's version of War Games. It's not bad. But this is truly War Games.
Yeah. I think, look, NXT version of War Games, it's fun, right? It's fun. Yeah. But the reason why people don't look at that as real War Games is because it's not. And it's like one of those weird things where WWE, like, no matter what, they take an idea, they have to put their own spin on it because they have to make it their own. That's just how things work there. It is what it is, right? But man, this excites me. This genuinely excites me because some of the best parts, even WCW at their absolute worst, War Games, the Fall Brawl pay-per-view was one of the most entertaining, one of the most fun pay-per-views of the entire year. Yeah. And when I went through and I watched everything in WCW from Nitro's debut, every show, every pay-per-view, there were some bad times there, Trevor. I'm not gonna lie, hard times, Daddy. There were some hard times, Daddy. But some of the best parts were the lead up and the actual matches at War Games. So I love this concept, and I love the fact that they're going to do it in the classic way. There's no pinfalls. It's going to be submission only. That makes it mean even more because, one team's going to have to submit. One person's going to have to give up in that cage, and you're going to have to force people into a situation where they're going to have to literally torture their opponents into submitting. That's going to get whoever over, right? Also, I never understood the idea of like the open cage. Like if you're going to have a steel cage match, right? Or any type of cage match, like I never liked the idea of like, climbing up to the top of the cage and escaping or something like that, because that always opens it up for terrible things. That's also why I like that AEW, they eliminated the whole, you can escape the cage and win the match type deal. That's like the lamest thing in pro wrestling. Like, it was not going to get into that, but Blood and Guts is going to be great. Thanks for watching this video from Real Take Sports Talk. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever a new video is released. Also, remember to check out our live show every single Thursday at 8 p.m. right here on the YouTube channel. And remember, keep it real.